Hello everyone, this is Jimmie Flores and I'm in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I want to talk today a little bit about what motivates the Brazilians to work and also the cultural differences that we might find. Now, I have a colleague of mine and his name is Luis Costa Leite, and he owns a company here, a consulting firm called Change Management. He has an abundance amount of experience, and he's also a SHRM member, and that's how we hooked up, and that's SHRM for the Society of Human Resources Management. And Luis, I wanted to, first of all, thank you, and I know we've had an opportunity to chat a little bit here, but maybe you could tell us a little bit more about what is the motivation for Brazilians to work? What is that desire that they have, like, to go and find a job and excel? What exactly is that thing that makes them want to work?
Well, we have, I suppose, some different ways of seeing this motivation issue. First of all, it's cultural. We are a relationship-oriented culture. This means that people like to meet other people, and when people are together, for sure, there is a natural motivation from one to another. That's a psychological way of seeing, and cultural, basically. The second is what I call opportunities. We have a lot of opportunities as a growing country, and new businesses or even old business that are reinventing themselves in order to keep competitive. So there are a lot of opportunities for people to grow, to work, and to motivate from their jobs.
I'm sorry. And I was just talking about opportunities. Do you see that many of these companies are providing the training, like when they go to the workforce, they provide the training when they arrive in the company, or do most of the people come already prepared to do the work?
According to my point of view, there is a growing effort in training people inside the companies, even if we have qualified people that we can hire. Mm-hmm. Many situations, but companies here are investing very strongly in training their people. The training budgets are getting higher, training programs are more popular. For instance, if you look at project management certifications, they are extremely popular here. Lots of people go to test for many professionals look for certification in project management. Why? Because the organization structure today is much more based in projects than in conventional hierarchy or organizational structure. Mm-hmm. New business depend on projects of viabilization or business plans. So if you are mentioning the training, this is a good example. Mm-hmm. Project management certifications are very, very popular here.
And that's a good point, Luis, because in the United States, project management is very, very popular, as is the SHRM certifications, where you're an SPHR, or the Global Professional in Human Resources. And Luis, we were talking a little bit earlier off camera a little bit, and that is, you mentioned something that many multinationals, many global companies are moving here to Brazil. What is that motivation that brings those companies here to your country?
Well, just for your information, we have more than 100 multinational companies in Brazil whose headquarters for Latin America is based here. They come to Brazil. That's not new. We are used to foreign companies here for the last 50 or 60 years. Our economy grew with the cooperation of global companies. Second, at this moment, we are growing 8% a year. So it's very interesting for companies to make money here. Third, in Europe, basically in Europe, with the stagnation of the economy, they don't have where to put their excess of money. So they have to invest in some places. And countries like Brazil are a very good choice for investing because the returns are very good.
And talking about the investment part, and we were talking a little bit about how in the United States we tend to be very individualistic in nature, and that is most of the time we're promoted because we do well. But we were talking about the idea, and you mentioned it earlier, more of a relationships-oriented approach here in Brazil. So what does that mean? Does that mean that people work a lot in teams? They're assigned to work together. Everybody tries to work together and build that relationship first before progress is made. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that works?
Well, we have a culture based on relationships. That's our historical culture, because the Portuguese, when they came to Brazil in 1500s, they have this characteristic of being relations-oriented. And with all the immigrants we have, when we also got the African people come to Brazil as slaves, so we have this mix of culture that is very good for making relations, because people need to make relations. So we are a very open culture for relationship. This does not mean necessarily that we work better in teams, in opposition to some countries, as the US, or the individual is more privileged than the group, or it's a culture oriented to the person, to the individual. It does not mean that we work better in teams because of the style of management. The style of management, being more paternalistic in historical terms, does not favor teamwork, because all people are related only to the boss, to the owner, to the main shareholder. So working in teams is essential today because of technology. No technology in the world today is created without considering that working in teams is essential for that technology succeed. We do not have any longer an individual job description. The trend that you have a group job description, because nobody knows everything about its job. We depend from other people to get your workmate. So the question of team working is much more today a need of modern times and technology and organizational structure than culture itself. You can see some countries like, let's say, China, where the individual is not so important and everything is more collective. This does not mean that they work better in teams. They are just more collective in their way of living.
That's a good point. And one last question, because I found this important, is moving forward. What do you see, Rio or Brazil in 5 or 10 years? How do you think it'll be a player in the global business? What do you see some of the big changes that's going to make Brazil more competitive in the workplace or in the global marketplace?
Well, if you keep growing as we are today, the specialists say that Brazil will be the 5th economy in the world. Today we are number 8. So the trend is to grow and to get more space in world competition and new businesses, and because we have some advantages. One of them, that we have a very strong agricultural economy. We export goods. Second, we have a lot of natural resources, as iron and other things. And third, we have an industrial, organized, and very concrete structure. So, as we are diversified, different from other countries, we can grow better because interdependence in business is easier if you are diversified. These are some of our advantages.
Yeah, and that's great information. And I'm fortunate today to speak with Louis because he has an abundant amount of knowledge and working in many organizations across, not only here in Brazil, but around the world, and his knowledge was very, very helpful in gaining a better understanding of Brazil and its future growth in the global marketplace. So, Louis, I definitely want to thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And we definitely want to come back to Rio very soon. And for JimmieBach.com, this is Jimmie Flores. Thank you very much.